As the former chairman of the committee and the the chairman emeritus, Mr. McCaul from Texas, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for holding your first hearing on this very important topic. And as the ranking member stated, a very bipartisan issue. The ranking member and I passed the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency Act in 2018 because it was a civilian agency we thought best capable to interact with the private sector. Since that time, I believe it's stood up its capabilities, its credibility, but the world is on fire today. And it's a far more dangerous place than it was in 2018 from a cyber security perspective, particularly when you look at China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. I was sanctioned by China. I'm the target of a disinformation campaign by China, along with 3 other members, one of whom now is the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. So I've kind of firsthand witnessed this. But I think one of the most frightening things to think about is this ability to pre-position malware on critical infrastructure to give them the capability to turn the switch off at any given time, and then to bring darkness to the entire East Coast or to ports, in New Orleans or Houston. Can you, maybe Admiral, start with you, explain how that exactly works, and what can we do to fortify and strengthen these critical infrastructures?
Thank you for the question.
I'm sorry, I was going to do Admiral.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, thank you, sir. Look, you're right on. That to me, this was a prompt jump. In other words, what we discussed previously was intellectual property theft. There's been espionage. This operational preparation of the battlefield. It is a war-making action, and we have to take it much more seriously. I think that the idea that they've pre-positioned malware or that they have capabilities that lie in wait that can come out at the right time as we're making a decision to move, to respond to a crisis in Taiwan or a crisis in the Baltic states. Transcom operates on these unclassified networks with civilian systems. This is why I think former Representative Waltz is right in the sense that we have to go on the offensive. We now have to actually publicly execute operations against Chinese cyber infrastructure to say, we know you did this, we know you used this infrastructure to do this, and we're going to remove that infrastructure from your capability. Well, we may sacrifice a tool, we may sacrifice an access, but I think the military, Cyber Command and the intelligence communities have lots of tools and lots of accesses, but we need to demonstrate publicly, and we should attribute it to ourselves. Say, we did this because of what you did. Otherwise, the Chinese are going to keep doing what they're doing.
I totally agree. We need to call them out for this. We know that in the event of an invasion of Taiwan, they will shut down their entire grid and shut down all their cyber, and including probably hit the west coast of the United States at the same time.
How crazy would we go if we found 20 satchels of explosive strapped to different electrical power grids or port cranes around our country and could attribute it to China or Russia? Yeah. We would seriously be moving forces and say this is completely unacceptable behavior. But somehow in cyberspace they get a pass. That's not right. We need to be more offensive about this. The bar for taking action has got to be lowered down to one that makes America and our infrastructure secure. Right now, it's too high.
I think that physical analogy is always accurate. For instance, when the OPM hack occurred, 23 million security clearances stolen. I mean, can you imagine if Chinese operatives were caught at OPM actually stealing that data in person? And we tend to think cyber somehow that it's different, and it's really not. Mr. Wales, can you, in my remaining time, this unholy alliance, I call it, between China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, do you see any, in this alliance, any formation of working together in the cyber threat space?
So I'd say that there are
there are some but limited connections at this point, in part because there is not a significant degree of trust amongst those countries, despite their willingness to work together in very isolated places. There have also been caught conducting operations against each other, which is one of the reasons why they don't have a tight of an alliance as, let's say, the United States does with its Five Eyes partners, where it's much closer sharing of information, conducting joint operations, et cetera. We don't see that yet amongst our adversaries. But that is changing. We're seeing closer connections in places like Ukraine in terms of Russia, Iran, North Korea, et cetera. So we obviously have to carefully watch that space very carefully.
I passed the Cyber Diplomacy Act to help coordinate and deal with that on the defensive side, but I know my time has expired. And thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlemen yields, I now recognize